is officially hatch day here on the farm that I have. We've got quail that are coming out again. So, for those of you that missed it last time, hopefully we'll catch a couple of these guys hatching in um, live action here. So, we have got 3 so far that have hatched. As you can see, they look like they're struggling. It's because they're still wet. He literally just hatched. I was making sure everything was good, checking all the humidity, checking on all the little guys here. So definitely, it's going to be a fun day. We're going to have some interesting stuff happening with all of these. I started with 50 eggs. All right. Upon candling them, not all 50 were fertilized. So, needless to say, between unproductive or unsuccessful candling or unfertile eggs, we are down to 37. That's how many that are in here now. So, out of those 37, my focus on my camera keeps going in and out. I apologize, it's because of the movement of them. But look, out of 37, we've got 3 so far. There are a significant amount of these that I have looked at. As you can kind of see here, they have got um, some sort of cracks inside them, meaning that they're starting to pip. They're busting the air sac that is inside the egg. That one actually has already happened to open. Hey, Serene, what's up? Thank you guys for stopping in. I'm just trying to show a little bit of extra on the farm today. Show you guys some of these quail. I've got one that's right there, center of the screen. Trying to get the focus to do. I'm not sure why the focus is going in and out so bad, but there's one right there. It has got a bit of a pip to it. It's starting to circle the egg, which means it won't be long, and that one will be hatching as well. But like I said, so far 3 out of 37 have hatched, all within the last, those 3 have hatched within the last half hour, give or take. But those are baby quail. They're probably about the length of maybe 2.5, 3/4 long if you were to stick quarters together side by side. Like I said, I did this just a couple weeks ago. They don't take long to go through their process. The day that they hatched and completed their cycle inside the incubator, I took them out. We had a pretty good success rate off of the last one. There was only a few eggs that were in there. Those all turned out pretty well. We had moved them all to the other side of the room here, inside their cage, or they're not really a cage, but it's their big bucket pen before they can start flying. So I moved them in there last time, and they've gotten big enough. They found homes, so they're gone. So now we're on this next batch. So they only take about 16, 17 days to hatch. My timer says that I still have another day, or actually 2 days before they hatch. But as you can see, even with 2 days left, these are actually running at 15 days for these particular ones. So I won't open this incubator at all until probably tomorrow evening, which they have the yolk sac that they absorb inside that egg, so they are like self-feeding from that, so they're not gonna like starve or thirst to death between now and then. That's just a general rule. You want to make sure you keep them in the incubator, simply for the fact that you want to make sure that they stay at that solid consistent temperature, keep the humidity still at a really good rate after hatching, and give time for all of these other eggs to hatch. So they'll be in here for at least 24 hours, at least until everybody is completely dried. Then they'll go into their other pen. What it is a huge watering trough that we have set up inside the house. It has the heat lamp. It has plenty of space for them to run and get into the cool. And then they have it where they've got, their water and stuff. Hey fans, what's up? I see you guys coming in and saying hi. Thank y'all so much. Just wanted to share a little bit of the day of what I will be doing the majority of the day, which will be monitoring the hatches from these quail. They generally, like I said, take about 17, 18. They're supposed to take about 17, 18 days, but these are hatching on the 15th day. I did stop the turning one day early. I don't know if that played a factor in the fact that these guys are coming out a day early, but either way, I do kind of consult with another somebody who actually breeds these for a living, which I don't do that, but I do know somebody that breeds these for a living, and they said that they have got more success rate stopping the turning a day early, which just basically means that there are shelvings inside of this particular incubator. You guys can see that one egg right there rocking pretty hard. There are like little baskets that rotate inside of here. Probably gonna see this guy hatch here in just a second. He's kicking pretty hard. But anyway, look at there, that little guy. He's trying really, really hard to come out. But those baskets will rotate about every hour for the first however many days you keep them in there. I did, like I said, I did take it out a day early and lay them down onto the bottom here and stop turning them a day early. So, like I said, maybe that has a factor into them hatching a little bit earlier than expected. Like I said, the focus on this is kind of, you know, iffy on it. I don't know why, but trying to keep it to where you guys can see pretty good. And the other three that have already hatched, they're back there resting. One of them, you could tell which one was the first one out, because that's usually the one that is the most active when you start looking at these. And the one in the furthest back there, he was the first one out. The one that's just kind of laying there, hobbling over on the left side, that's the most recent one. That's the youngest one out of it so far. So, there's 37 eggs. So far we're doing good. We've got 3. We've got a 4th one that's trying to come out. It's definitely pushing. I didn't want to turn my light on my camera because of the fact that I personally don't know how sensitive their eyesight is at this age. I know me personally, if I just entered the world, I would not want a bright light shining on me. So, you know, just for their eyesight, I don't want to damage that or do anything because I'm not very familiar with that aspect of it. I don't want to turn my bright light on, but as you guys can see, there's still enough light in here. I have this particular room specifically in the back of the house set up strictly for hatching. I've got all of my material, all of my supplies, and everything that I need here. A little extra storage stuff, but these are going to be, this is kind of going to be their home for the next 2 weeks before they head outside. And outside they have their own little area where I make sure that it's, you know, stable temperature wise, and if it's not, then they stay here in the house a little longer. They don't really stink. They don't really like do the whole tons of poop thing like some of the chickens do that I've raised from babies. Never hatched any, but just picking them up at the store, it just seems like the chickens poop way much more. But these guys, they don't seem to make as big of a mess, maybe because they're smaller birds, of course, but so I don't really have all of that smell that comes with it like a chicken does. If you're not familiar with what quail are, definitely worth taking like a couple minutes to go to Google and reading about them. They're very, very beautiful birds. They are quite tasty if you want to eat them. I don't personally eat them. I have tried it, but I don't like that. I like to raise them for their eggs because their eggs are great pickled. They're great, even though they're tiny, they're great to boil and just kind of pop your mouth as a snack. So, you know, we try to watch with the eggs, but we do have about 20 of them outside, and then that are producing and mating and all that good stuff. And then I have this group that's going to be in their own little flock in a new pen. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, congratulations on the babies. Yes, I am super excited about this. We've got 3 so far. They're back there in the back. And as you can see, we are introducing the 4th one. You can see his little beak. Oh, he's so cute. I absolutely love Hatch Day. I try to ignore everything as long as I can because I sit here, the first set that we tried hatching or that we did hatch, I sat here every day like watching, is there any changes? Are there any changes? And it's like, oh, this is a long 2 weeks. So finally I've just learned to be a little bit more patient, and so when Hatch Day comes, I try to not sit here at the incubator nonstop to watch for the first one to hatch. After I see the first one hatch, then I start coming in here and sitting because it's usually not long after that, then it's like a domino effect. Everybody's ready to start popping out. And again, the focus is going in and out because of one, the lighting in the area, because I don't want to over brighten them and shock them or blind them or do anything that's going to disturb them and or their situation at the moment with hatching. But I also don't want to mess up with their eyes. I don't want to mess up with that type of thing. And plus their extra movement going on in the background and the other eggs as they move, they do kind of retake focus on the camera. So that's why. But as you can see, little guy's got his head out. Oh, I just see another egg over off screen over to my left. It just literally rolled like an inch. So I know it's getting ready. I'm super excited. This is so much fun. I love watching these little guys hatch. But you can see he's got his head stuck out of it. He's trying. I try not to intervene with trying to help them out unless I see that it's a significant time frame that they've been struggling and they look weak. Then I will intervene. Otherwise, I don't open this. I keep it shut. Lockdown is for a reason. Hatch Day, you want to keep things locked down because you don't want humidity fluctuating inside of the incubator, because if too much humidity releases at one time, it's what happens is the inside of these eggs have that little thin membrane, and it will shrink wrap the chicks that are pending their hatch, and it'll kill them. So we don't want that. So I try my best to never open this. I did have to last time in the last hatch because there were 2 that had some significant issues that I did have to intervene. Unfortunately, one did not make it. The other one did survive. But I'm just trying to make sure that I always give them their time to do what they need to do. One of the eggs that had rocked a lot during the last, because usually like 2 or 3 days before they hatch, they start kind of rocking or doing what I call vibrating. They start moving a little bit. And so when that happens, I know that that's probably going to be some of the first ones that actually hatch. And the one that I'd been waiting on, he was like the third to hatch. So I'm excited. I was kind of close on that. Oh, I'm so tired. Didn't get to bed till late. Couldn't sleep well. Mainly because I was up and down all night. I knew that they were going to be hatching soon. I figured it would be later into this morning today. But I knew they were going to be hatching, because when they start making their cracks inside of the egg, what we call the star pattern generally, they do that first pip. It's usually within 24 hours. So I knew it was going to be today. I just couldn't sleep. I was constantly up checking to see if anybody had hatched. But yeah, so far, I mean, you've got 3 of them that are officially out. Then you've got this one. This will be the 4th one. I've got about 3 eggs that are rocking and moving over on the left side that I don't have on screen. But another thing is too is that what I've read and researched and stuff is that when they are actually doing what they're doing and they're bumping into these other eggs and all, it kind of worried me the first time I did that because I'm like, well, now they're going to be repositioned in a different area and they're not going to want to be able to get out. But it's actually what I read was that it helps encourage the others to go ahead and start doing their zipping, which is um, once they pip, they put that little crack inside of it. But then when they start zipping, you can see like how the line is across the egg there, where he like it literally is like they're unzipping the top of the egg. That's what we call the zipping part. So once they start that, it actually helps encourage the others to get started on it. So. And I won't be able to really see their true color until they've dried completely. You know, as they come out, they are pretty, moist, wet, and stuff. So like you can't really see their little fur, their feathers. This little guy's getting tired. Like I just want to open this thing, reach in there, and just pop off that top of it so he can come on out. But I also know that I can't do that. Doesn't mean I don't want to, though. But if I see that he's struggling for a significant period of time, I mean, he's just now starting, so he's got plenty of time still left to do this, and I think he'll be fine. But I can't help it, that little mama instinct to just want to get in there and just help the little guy. As he rests, he's just building up strength to be able to do this again. Some more pushing here in just a second, but I don't think he has very long, and he will officially be out. I want to show you guys these other 2 eggs that are moving around, but I also don't want to miss this. Oh, there he goes. Now he's got his little leg. He's slowly coming out. He's just having to take a minute. And plus, he could be a little stuck to the side of the egg, just slightly. And as he's coming out, it'll dry a little bit more. Oh, you can see the little egg beside him moving. And I say him, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet. I won't know that until they're dried and just, a little bit older. What I can do is actually, I learned something that with their eyes that you can tell if they're male or female. So if I ever get a good look at their eyes once they're dried, then I should be able to tell and have like a really good rate of determining the male or female. And there he goes. Come on, little guy, you got this. You guys hear him? You can kind of hear him peeping in there a little bit. He's got one foot stuck in that egg. You guys see that move right there on the left side of your screen? You can still see him, but if you look, you can see another one. He's zipping right now. He's pulling or he's cracking around the top of the egg so that he can hop out too. So it'll probably be the next one to hatch. It's nice that it's both in the same frame. But yeah, you can see it. He's moving inside that egg. You can actually see him breathing if you look close enough. You can see it breathing in the egg. That's one important thing that I look for, is that when they start doing this, the zipping, is, or do I still see them breathing? So we've got like 3 official hatches with like 95% of the other one. He's still struggling with getting his foot out of the egg. Actually, I think he may have just did that. He may have just got his foot out. I think some of his yolk or the membrane may be stuck to him. I'm not gonna lie, the humidity is just a little. Yeah, he's out. He's just trying to figure out what's going on now. Yep, he's officially out. And the egg, the light brown egg that he is laid up against, is in the process of hatching next. So we're just gonna kind of keep it here and watch. But yeah, so now we officially have four. Like I said, if you look, you can see that egg that he's up against. You can see where it's moving, and that other one's trying to come out of its shell. Welcome to the world, little baby. And I love hatching the quail simply for the fact that they hatch so quick. Hey, little one. So I have two breeds of quail that are in there together. One of them is considered an Italian, and you can tell this one, its father is one of the Italians because I only have males of the Italians. I think the father is one of the Italian ones because if you look at his face right there, see around the eyes and around the neck and stuff. I know he's still wet, but there is a dominant feature of having that yellowish tint to him, or the brighter colors. That's the last set that we had. You could definitively tell that the Italian father helped produce some of those eggs. So I think that might be one of his. And welcome, guys. Thank y'all for stopping in. I do appreciate it. I hope this is just as entertaining to you guys as it is me. It's totally different watching it through a screen versus live, like in person. It's just, there's something about this is just absolutely amazing. So even though I know that feeling is different physically watching it in person versus on here, I still wanted to show that. But I am honestly a little bit worried, not like super concerned, but I do notice that the humidity, as each one is hatching, the humidity is rising. I really am about 5 degrees outside of where I really need to be at. So if you guys hear some weird noises, or I get kind of shaky on the camera, I apologize. It's because I'm trying to get the napkin here and stick into the corner of where we insert the water, so that it kind of soaks it up a little bit so that the humidity will drop. But I'm not seeing any more water coming out of it, so I guess it's just gonna be what it's gonna be at this point. But like I said, my humidity's a little bit higher than what I really like, so I can't tell if that egg that's moving right there has actually already hatched, or if that is the wind blowing it around that is coming out of the fan that's in there that's keeping it at a good 95.5 temperature. Because once they hatch, those shells become super, super light, especially as they dry out. So they start, the fan that's in there starts really. Oh no, that's moving because of him. That's his egg that he came out of. So he still has a little bit of an attachment to the egg. So as that dries up, then that's gonna, he'll detach from that. I was wondering why that egg was moving so much, but yeah, that's because it's still attached to him. Now you can see he's like right there next to where the other one is hatching, so we're going to see another one come out pretty soon. You guys see that other one move right there next to it as well? Oh, I think he just released from the egg, like, fully. Hey, little guy. That was tough, huh? He's trying to get rested. He's tired. He's had a big morning so far. Hey Zara, what's up? Thank you guys for stopping in. It's Hatch Day, Quail Day. So we're just waiting for some more. We've got 4 of them that are officially hatched. We've got a 5th one that's coming through right now. I know my channel is about lottery and things like that, but look, clearly there's more to life than just my lottery. So, and strategies and things like that. I do have a normal life to some extent. I'd say as normal as a normal can get, I guess. But part of that includes having a farm, which I have turkeys, quail, guineas, um, rabbits temporarily. I'm trying to get rid of the last 2 that I have. So I have chickens, a goat, and the quail. So that's part of what we have here. I'm having to move this box. There we go. Alright, so maybe... Alright, so as you guys can see, that was the first 3 that hatched right there. It'll take a little while for them to dry off. It's a process. This little guy, boy, he is crawling all over everything. Hey! Hey, little guy. Let's see if your if your face is dry enough. That actually might be a male. There's like certain lines and stuff that some people may disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But so far, out of the last batch, it seems to be pretty accurate. There's like a line that goes either in front or behind the eye, and depending on which direction determines which sex it is, male or female. So as he dries, I'll be able to know, but I think that might be a male. Plus, I know that the father of that, the Italian one, that's the bird that I have out there, the Italian quail, they, last time all produced males. There wasn't a female one in there that we could tell that had a dominant Italian trait with it, just based on coloring. The others, I don't know how to pronounce them. They're just your standard quail. Hatch day is usually about 18. We're actually on day 15 right now, so we're going to probably have this. This is actually probably going to be a long day because it's not all going to be ready to hatch today. I figure we're going to have some slower developers, and they'll hatch probably late this evening, into late tonight. Possibly a straggler or 2 dropping in the morning. But when you guys visit the channel and you're watching the lottery videos, or you guys leave like the little super chats, or the super thanks and things like that, all of that, any money that is earned from YouTube, I do take that, and instead of going and playing the lottery, which I haven't really played very much, really at all this year, I could probably tell you maybe 8 to 10 instances where I have went and played. One of them being a scratch-off ticket, which was very recent. But other than that, I really just don't play anymore. I don't really have an interest in it. It was fun and everything for a while, then it became frustrating. I just don't really play anymore. All right, mainly because it's the Mississippi Lottery, and I don't like Mississippi Lottery. There's some stuff going on there that you got to question. So anyway, all the money that is earned from my YouTube, or from the grids or the teachings and things like that, the sales that I make or tips that I make, all of that I use to funnel back into my farm. So I just have to make sure I tell you guys thank you for viewing the videos, because like I said, all of the money from the content that I create does go to help these guys. That's what helped purchase the incubator. That's what helped get me started, because the money has to come from somewhere, and the farm can't make money until you get the farm, right? So all of that has been a helpful thing because of you guys watching my content, especially for those of you that are on the memberships and things like that. So that's what it goes to, is to help these little guys. I get feed, I get toys, I get supplies. I try to make sure that, everybody stays healthy. So there may be vet visits. There may be shots that are included things to that nature. So, it adds up quick. So I just want to say thank you for viewing the videos. It's literally like free for you guys. Just watching a video helps us out. So these guys even thank you for that. He is definitely relaxed like crazy over here on top of these eggs. And I know he's probably wanting mama. Like his real mama, not me, because I'll be mama from this point. But I know he's probably looking to crawl underneath. And you guys see all the movement over here? I know that they like getting under the mom, the hen, and stuff. But none of our quail will actually sit on the eggs and attempt to hatch them. I actually have like two that are trying to hatch at one time. So this is awesome. But the mama hens, they don't really do that. Like, as a matter of fact, if I were to leave these eggs inside of the pen, that I say pen, but inside of the cage, or the area that the mamas and the daddies are at, they will eat the eggs all the way down from the shell. They'll eat all of the shell. They'll eat all of the yolk, everything inside of it. They'll eat it. So I have to make sure that I'm literally from like 1 o'clock until 7 o'clock in the evening. I have to go out every 15 to 30 minutes, and I don't always. Oh, sorry. I don't always get a chance to be available to do that. So sometimes I miss the eggs, but that's how I try to collect them. Now, I do have a quote unquote quail cage that can allow the eggs to roll down, and then the quail have a little small space that they live in. Well, there we go. We are getting another one. Look at that. There he is. 5 now. You can see he hasn't been doing this as long as the other one that we've been watching, and he just popped out. But the problem is with the other actual official quail cages that we have, the snakes were getting into them, so they were eating my birds. So I couldn't leave them in there. So I had to create a safer pen after losing 2 of the adults. So things happen. You learn and then you adjust. So I just try to take the eggs out, and then I hold them for a few days, and then I incubate them, and then that's pretty much how that happens. But I can't take these and put them out there with them because they're so small and fragile that I figure if they're eating the eggs, they'll probably kill the baby. So for those that have asked me about that, I don't introduce the babies to the parents. I might take them out there and let them look at them through the pen, through the mesh and everything, but I don't actually, reunite them together physically. All of these that survive out of this one, which I'm hoping all 37 hatch, they will all have their own pen that they stay in, and they will be their own flock. And as I put more in here out of the next batch of quail eggs, then they will have their own separate pen. So that's kind of how that works. I could always introduce them, throw them into a larger pen, and they would be fine, but I don't do that. I'm scared they might hurt each other. Hey, little one. Welcome. It kills me how they just lay their heads up there and just rest on the other eggs. Like, ooh. It's almost fully out. I mean, he's definitely coming out. Now, the egg that you see center point in the screen that seems to be taking in the focus, that one and the one to the left of it, and the one to the bottom right has done the most movement this morning. As you can see, that one right there, he's actually going out of one into the other shell, which is not a good thing. But I'm going to give him a few minutes, let him finish doing what he's doing. But that one that he's crawling into was actually the 3rd one to hatch this morning. So, but there's actually still babies in these other 3 that are nearby. If you listen, you can hear them talking to one another. it's really hard just to not help him adjust and just hop out. But I know my intervention would actually make things worse, so we're good. Oh, look at there, we got a little foot. If he'd get his head out of the other egg, he can only hatch from one egg, but he's like trying to go back in. He's like, nope, not ready for this world. Let me back in. Oh, it sounds so painful when he smacked the egg back down. So we're going to give him a little bit of time, just kind of show you guys here. This is the one that hatched just earlier. But you saw earlier in the video, he's still, looks like he's still doing pretty good. He's just resting, trying to stay warm, getting dried. As you can see, that one there looks like it's literally breathing. He's in there, like, breathing real hard, so he's making the egg move up and down. He's definitely pushed a little bit. So he's going to be coming out pretty soon. And then, hey, this one here has got his head unstuck from the other egg that had already hatched. He's about to be officially out. So that will make number 5. You've officially got 4 out of 5 fully out. This guy will make the 5th. Or girl, whichever one. I just hope by the end of this journey of their hatching, I have all 37 hatched. Now, when I candled, I do have about 4 that I really honestly wasn't sure because of the darkness or thickness of the shell. I was not able to really determine if there was truly, something growing in it, or was it just because it was so dark of a shell, I couldn't get it. A good view on it, so I left it. If I wasn't sure, I left it. So there's 4 that might not even hatch because they might not have had anything in them. But hopefully we have at least 30 out of the 37 hatched. That would be, to me, that would be really, really great. You can see this little guy, he's just chilling. He's like, I don't know if I want to come out yet. He's resting, so we're going to go over here. And again, you can see that one's still doing its thing. It's still zipping around the egg, sorry, the shell. You can see here that little guy. He's still doing good. The others that are out, they're back there. You can see their fur, or I say fur, because it's the downy feathers, they're a lot softer. I don't really consider them feathers, I call it fur, but either way, whatever the proper or non-proper term is, I call it fur. As they're babies, they're downy feathers. They're starting to actually dry. And you can see this one here, he's actually starting to really get some good movement going. Hey, little one. Hey. Oh, are you going to come visit too? Okay. Hey, little one, what's up? Hey. He looks a little funny. I'm not sure what's up with his eye. What the heck? I don't know if it's just wet, or did you guys see that on his left side? Like, does it look like he has a squished face or something? Oh, that kind of freaked me out, and I'm live, so I'm having to really hold back my initial reaction. Like, maybe it's just because he's wet still, but he looks like he may actually, if he doesn't, I think he kind of looks like he has a little bit of a deformity on that side. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of how he's still sticky and wet from being in the shell. But his beak and his face looks, I don't know, it looks different than these others. See, look at his eye. He doesn't really have. Oh my gosh. I may actually have a special needs bird, special needs quail. And believe you me, this buddy is gonna get babied so much. I'll have to have him looked at. I can't get him out. He looks like he has something going on with his eye. I don't think he fully developed. Hey, little one. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, he doesn't have a fully developed eye. I'm having to move this, guys. I'm sorry. I have to really look at him. Yeah, he's not properly developed. I'm not really sure what happened there. As you guys can see, um, if I can get it to zoom. See, he has no eye. Oh, little guy. Oh, I feel so bad. I want to get him out, but I can't. I can't open it yet. He'll be easy to identify. I will. This is going to be one that goes separate away from the others. I will not have this one near the others once I get this one out, once he dries off. As you can see, he has a bit of a facial deformity. I don't know if he's even going to make it or not, but granted that he does, he's definitely going to be over, because you can see the other eye is sticking out over here. Oh man, so you can see he has his eye on the other side, but that one he doesn't have, and his beak looks a little different. Oh man. Hey my guy, what's up? See, yeah, he definitely, he's gonna be one that I keep separate, because I don't know what's going on with him physically. And definitely not. I mean, he's holding balance actually really well. So neurologically, as far as like standing and stuff, I mean, he seems to be doing okay. But if he doesn't have a good, if he has a failure to thrive syndrome or situation, he might not make it. But as you can see, I mean, look at him. He's definitely have a bit of some type of deformity there. Man, I'm so sorry, dude. But you're a fighter. We're gonna make sure we keep fighting for you. We'll get the vet to check you out. Yeah, we'll definitely. I'm gonna have to definitely keep an eye on that one. He's gonna be very closely monitored and looked after. And as you can see right here, we have another one that's getting ready to hatch. I just saw it push on that, so that's why I was going to it. Oh, there he goes. He's got his little beak out. So he'll start zipping here shortly, and then he'll be out probably within an hour, hour and a half maybe, depending on how strong he is or how tired he gets by doing it. In the meantime, I'm actually going to end my live stream. I wasn't intending on that, but because I do have a bird that is defective, so to speak, I don't do culling and just like getting rid of these guys just because they have something wrong with them. If they look like they can still survive, he might be one that I put in an actual bird cage and keep in the house as a pet versus throwing him out there with the rest of them to be producers for the farm. So I most certainly need to make a phone call. I need to get some really good pictures of him. So I am going to end the live stream. I might come back live later. I don't know. But if you guys ever want to check in on the birds, feel free to send me an email. You can feel free to leave a comment. I'll post updates. But in the meantime, like I said, I am going to go ahead and end the live because I am concerned about this little guy here. I don't know what's happened. I just want to make sure that, yeah, his beak, you can even see his beak is like sideways. He's going to be one that has to be hand fed. So I'm going to hop off here because now I went from like a very casual hatching to now a higher level that I need to really be focusing on. And if it's something that the vet says I need to remove him, I need to do that quickly. So I'll have to have both hands and all that stuff. So anyway, thank you guys for your support. Remember, anytime you watch a video, doesn't matter if it's lottery, whether it's these videos, these live streams, all the views, all the money that's earned from YouTube goes into helping these guys, vet bills, cages, it goes into food, supplies, toys, anything. And I say toys for them because yes, they do like to play, they are animals, they do like to enjoy, entertaining things like the rest of our real kids would, right? So all of that support helps. Comments, hitting the like button, commenting, sharing videos, all of that does help. Being a member, of course, absolutely helps, whether it's on the very first level or that's just showing that you support the channel, or whether it's on the actual Cash Pop or the Cash 3, Cash 4 levels. That's totally up to you if you even want to do that as far as memberships. But anything that I earn both here and on other platforms do go toward my farm. So I'm going to call the vet up. I'm going to see what's going on with this little guy, what we can do for him, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank y'all for stopping in. Be sure to hit subscribe and continue watching for lives, because if everything goes well, I'm going to try to go back live later, and I'll see y'all then.